Hello, I'm Vaidya Lakshmi and I'm an Ayurvedic expert. I run the Natural Skincare Works community and we have been talking to a few of our members lately. And today we have Srividya. Welcome, Srividya.
Thank
She
you.
is from the Netherlands and she is a mother of two little kids. She is also full-time into art of living, an art of living teacher and a teacher's coordinator in Netherlands. Welcome so much, Srividya.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Lakshmi.
So
It's a
nice to
pleasure
have you.
talking to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
same here.
same here. So tell me, Srividya, what made you to join the community?
Um, so I came across your webinar, and the webinar was so useful. It answered all those questions that I had in my mind for nearly a year. And my son had this extreme dry skin, and I knew it was not to do with his skin, but I didn't know what it was exactly. And the way you explained with pictures so clearly that no, if it is this way, the skin, and it's because of this imbalance, that made a huge revelation for me. That inspired me to learn from you and join the community, basically.
So
I
I'm
also
sure you,
had I
yeah, sorry.
also had tried a lot of other medication like homeopathy, and in between we went to India. We consulted Ayurveda doctor there. It helped to a certain extent, but the kind of guidance that I wanted about his food, especially because we live in the Netherlands, which is new for us. Being Indians, it's so different to have such a weather, to cope with something like this kind of extreme dryness and cold uh, was something which I was seeking.
So you were saying that you've tried different things, homeopathy, Ayurveda as well. So what was it different? Could you share something, what did you do? How was it different from your previous approaches as a child?
Um, like I would even I've physically taken my child to these some of these doctors. They've seen his skin, and they would prescribe medication, and they would guide about what medication to give and what food to avoid, etc. But when I met you, though you saw him only online, and the way you explained why it was causing this issue,
Mm,
the root cause, and how we can together, that support system was there from you and the community, and that confidence that Ayurveda will definitely help came up, you know.
mm.
So it was not just about a medicine or, going to a doctor. It was more about having a safe system where you can share everything that needs to be shared and getting that kind of guidance which is suitable for, let's say, the Netherlands or the European weather. You know, the kind of local food that we get here, which is so different from what we used to have back home. And being a mother yourself, I think that's a added bonus that you know a lot more than, other doctors whom I met. So that
Mm.
made a big difference for me. And that inspired me to learn from you and the community.
Yeah, so in the community, we are talking about the 5E balance method, no? So could you share what did you understand? What is this 5E method for you? What did
So
you
when even,
implement, for example,
yeah,
no?
so when you spoke about the 5 elements, I was so curious that what is this diet? What is this diet? It kept my, curiosity really high till in the webinar, I remember. And when I went through the videos and when I read through your material on the website, which we all have access as members, um, then I understood how elements play such an important role, though we seem to see them as just elements, but they do everything.
Mm,
How for my son, the air element was the major impact. So
mm,
when you spoke about how the aggravations can be eliminated, first step. and how we should honor our own health, body, prioritize. These are small but profound things uh, that help to make our lifestyle much more conducive to live somewhere which is not easy. I think it didn't seem like a huge diet change. No, I wouldn't say it was very difficult to implement what you said because they were small things but very important things. Like doing Abhyanga, for instance. I knew all this, but to have you and the community every Tuesday we meet, we talk, it kind of keeps you going to do these things.
Mm.
No, it helps you to follow these things. If otherwise, maybe I would be like, oh, it's okay, maybe something else. So
Yeah.
that's a big difference to have a community like this.
And you were saying it was not big, the changes that you made, but whatever changes you made, could you share just some things, if it was with food or it was
Yeah.
like Abhyanga, other things, anything else?
Um, when we had our first consultation, it brought a lot of awareness first thing. Like,
Mm.
what are the foods that my son should not be given, for instance? No, we spoke about how anything that increases vata should be eliminated, or maybe once a week. That's what,
Mm.
that was nice. But anyway, and then what is the right local food that he can be given, which will help with his skin? And then about which oil that will suit him before bath, after bath.
Mm.
And it was also about internally taking care of his gut and externally also managing his skin symptoms
Mm.
and the fact that I could reach you anytime. So all these things um, really made a difference.
How fast did you start seeing the results? Many people
In
think that, oh,
three
when we
weeks,
start 3 weeks.
yes. And I know for a fact that when I gave him his first uh, a herb, the dose of herb that was recommended, I could feel that day itself that his skin was not drying as much.
Mm.
I could see almost the first dose itself, I think I realized it was working. They say Ayurveda takes long, but with my son, it was not the case. It immediately helped and it kept progressing. Every day was a little more, a little more, a little more. So I think in 3 weeks, we really saw visible results, which I shared with you also.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And apart from the skin, how was his inside digestion and other things? Did you notice any difference?
Yes, for sure, for sure. So whenever his skin would have these eruptions or rashes,
Mm.
he wouldn't poop the whole day. He's a
Mm.
2-year-old child.
Mm.
So I knew this was coming up when he wouldn't poop in the morning because otherwise he would first thing wake up and poop. But
Mm.
whenever he would have some issue, I would notice that he wouldn't poop the whole day or he would poop really late in the afternoon or in the evening. But since I started consulting or I'm being a part of this community, there was not a single day when he didn't poop. So I know that his gut is getting healed and
Mm.
his excretion has been much more. I think I'll tell you it's 90% or 95% much better than what it was since we started.
And in between, did you meet the pediatrician and did you get the opinion? What did they say?
Yes. Another thing I would want to, I was also grateful was that when I also went to our GP here because they saw his skin. Um, I was happy. I think we almost did the same time, Ayurveda and Allopathy,
Mm.
and how you were open to doing both together. It was more
Mm.
like a compliment than a contradiction because most of them whom I have met previously, they would say do only one.
Mm.
But the way you could so nicely combine the two for the the fast and the best results,
Mm.
that was very amazing. And even my GP was amazed when I took him after 3 weeks. She said, keep
Mm.
the herbs also going. So for them also, it was really nice
Yeah.
experience to see something different. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So, okay. So, of course, you joined the community for your child, right? That was priority. But tell me, how has it helped you? as a mother and also to mentor. So you have another older child. So how would you say were you able to implement the 5E method for your family as well?
Yes, especially the diet. Um I think we all started being more conscious about what we're eating.
Mm,
And even for my older child, after I spoke to you, and we started again eliminating all the aggravations. And as a family, I think we all started implementing healthier food that
mm,
is locally available.
yeah,
So, and I slept better. My son slept better after a year. So
yeah.
we were not sleeping for 4 hours in the night, but we were sleeping at least for 6, 7 hours, which was not the case a year ago. So I think we all got back our sanity thanks to you.
No, it is
So yeah.
very important, no? So when we say in the community, so we are talking about so many things, no little things every week, no, whether it is the seasons or the need for the detox. So how is it if you compare yourself and the whole family last year in these, so from autumn to winter to this year, what did you implement? What was it different? Could you just think and tell me? And how has it helped, having this
Uh,
knowledge?
yes, this guidance which we receive constantly, I think it keeps us on track and helps us to change our way of doing little small things and food as per the seasons, which we don't really give so much of a thought. Last year, like it didn't matter what season because all the time the kids would fall ill. But now at least we know that,
Mm,
okay, there is a lot of pitta in summer, then it'll show up in the autumn,
mm,
and the same will go for the spring. So we're kind of well
mm,
equipped. We know what will
mm,
become. And I think we can also manage it much more better than last year. So last year, I can't tell you how bad his skin got during the winters. And I would be
mm,
like, how come it's getting so bad in the winters? It's
mm,
supposed to be cool and I always assumed he would have flare-ups in the summer because of the heat, because that was the case with my first son. But this was so different and new.
mm,
And then when you started talking about detox for each season, that's when I realized, oh my God, like how we need different clothing for each season. Even the food needs to be different and needs to be taken care.
mm.
So it never struck me that internally also we need to do that kind of change. But yeah, now at least there's some awareness about all these things.
Yeah. And so the detox that you're talking about, did you do the detox? How was it for
Oh
you?
yes, yes. It was wonderful. It was very interesting for the whole family because we got to try some very nice recipes, and we felt a lot of energy during the detox because we eating very nice, nutritious, light food. And my 2-year-old was a competition for me. Whenever I had to drink that detox, even he wanted. So it was a lot of fun, which usually is not seen as a detox thing because
Mm,
detox people are like, oh my God. But it was very smooth and it was not difficult to implement, which I thought maybe little difficult it would be, but it was not really that difficult. Once we started, it went very well. It was just that push to start and
mm,
everybody in the community sharing, I did this, I did that. So it was very inspiring to see I'm not the only one. I have
mm.
lot other people with me who's doing it along. So that's very encouraging.
Yeah. So this community that you're talking about, so what else? What do you think, how is this community? Of course, I am there, but that was always there, no? An Ayurvedic expert is always there. But now we have the support of a whole lot of people, similar people. So how do you think has it impacted your life and this journey, no? Can you share that?
In the community, we're all real people.
Mm,
So when we hear real stories, we know it is possible. I
mm,
think more than that, we don't need anything. No, we don't need any proof or any kind of you know, a marketing thing. Or, you just know it comes from real people and their experiences. And that's
mm.
it. What else we need? We don't need uh, anything beyond those kind of experiences that we see and hear.
That's so true. No, that is the whole point of uplifting each other, being a source of inspiration when others need it, right? So,
Yes.
and how about your mind? You're a meditation teacher, no, you're an art of living teacher. So, how has it impacted? So, being following the 5E balance, being so aware of the seasons, and how has it impacted your state of mind? Have you noticed anything?
Yes, definitely. It is when I started this journey in the community, I think all the sources of energy got taken care of. At
Mm,
least the food was taken care of, the sleep, and then my sadhana became deeper. I could meditate better, and my stress levels, because I think being a mother, it's such a trigger for everything. It really, really used to stress me out about my son's skin. But all that kind of really, really got less. The stress really dropped down, and I could do better practice. Because when you're so stressed and bogged down, even sitting to do something that you have to do doesn't happen. So
mm.
then I got back to being more into my practices after he was settled a little with his skin and things like that. So as my spiritual practices got into track again, because I was at least sleeping, which was not the case before. And my mind was so much more peaceful and grateful. And yeah, of course, more clarity because, uh, yeah, it was like all these clouds of doubt got just away, removed. So it really was very positive to be in the community.
And so, what would, if you had to, give some advice to some other mothers? I see there are a lot of mothers, a lot of parents who are struggling with their kids, having dermatitis from an early age, like Shreyansh. No? So, do you want to share anything, any advice for them? How 5E method can help them, or what is your take on this?
Mm, I would say that for something that is internal, treat it internally. It's
Mm,
not just enough to apply something on the skin externally, but it also needs to be taken care from inside, within. That's my biggest learning since I've seen it with both my kids.
mm,
And it's always nice to understand the root cause because then you can really help your child to eliminate it from the very cause.
mm,
uh, I've seen and I've heard of mothers who didn't know, maybe they didn't have this kind of guidance and knowledge, who
mm,
just manage with something external, but over a period of time, when the child reaches the teenager age or something, it comes out in some other form. It just
mm,
doesn't get resolved. I've heard a lot of doctors say after 5 years, your child will be free from eczema. But I know
mm.
if it's not treated now, it'll later become asthma or something else which is more chronic and more horrible. So might as well deal with it right now when you have the access to such experts and a community like this. Might as well help your child with the right way.
That's so amazing. And before we end, do you have any concluding thoughts? Anything you would like to share more?
I'm so grateful that we have such a community and such a guidance, which is so apt for uh, the European weather that we live here. I would tell, encourage all who are in Europe to uh, come to this beautiful knowledge, which is so ancient but so relevant even after all these thousands of years. I think, and having the right guidance and access to this kind of knowledge is the best thing that you can gift yourself. So please, please come and join this community. It really is a very essential, very needed community in these times.
Mm. Thank you so much. That was you shared such beautifully, all your experience and your thoughts. I'm so thankful that you joined us today, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye.